Hello, everyone. Welcome to another new episode of the Nothing to See Here podcast. Hi, it's Frankie.
It's Hannah.
Oh, right, my turn.
Yeah,
Sorry,
you're the third one.
I was just imitating Frankie for a minute.
I'm gonna fight you.
Please don't.
I'm going to physically attack you.
Hannah, do you know what today is?
I don't give a fuck about Star Wars, can I be honest?
It's not just Star Wars Day. Oh, wow! Frankie!
I mean, I'm gonna be honest, this is fair, though. This is honestly fair.
Hannah, you're a bitch.
Wait, is it Franklin's birthday?
Yeah!
Happy birthday, Frankie!
Happy
Sorry.
birthday, yeah.
You're such a bitch!
Mm-mm. You're not, Hannah.
I have reminders. Why did my computer not remind me?
That's smart. I should have reminders.
Apparently your birthday got deleted from my calendar.
I don't give a fuck about Star Wars Day.
I think,
wow.
Maybe I deleted from your calendar because it really remembered I didn't say happy birthday to you.
This is payback.
Yeah.
Well, at least we knew your birthday was around there. You didn't even recognize it.
Listen, I've been stressed these past 2 weeks, okay?
Who's laughing in the background ominously?
It's just Amanda.
Did you, move away from your mic? She's just over there dying.
I can't get over that. I don't give a fuck about Star Wars Day.
That is funny. That's really funny.
That's the only reason I remember your birthday some years, Franklin.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Frankie.
You want to know a fact about May the 4th?
Yeah.
I think you should tell it while Amanda's dying, so go for it.
So obviously it's Star Wars Day because of May the 4th be with you. And May the 4th be with you. It's funny. It's a joke. But originally, so someone, I just saw this on Twitter earlier, they found out, the origin of it, or what might be the origin of that use, is 1979, when Margaret Thatcher was elected Prime Minister.
Ooh.
Her political party took out a newspaper ad in the London Evening News that said, "May the 4th be with you, Maggie. Congratulations."
I'm glad Star Wars took it over.
I am too.
I'm also glad. Frankie, your birthday falls on something. My birthday, unfortunately, also falls on something.
But my birthday falls on something nice.
Yeah, mine does not.
Not anymore.
Hannah, I'm looking at your birthday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing National Hike with a Geek Day. National Ice Cream Soda Day.
It's the last day of spring.
National Vanilla Milkshake Day, the most boring-ass milkshake. National Seashell Day.
I think we'll go with it's the last day of spring. Also, I just realized, I hope you guys can hear me well. I hope
can hear you fine.
My headphone microphone is picking up well.
Hold on, let me look at bad things happening on your birthday.
Oh, God.
It's not even her birthday yet. Jeez.
I like how bad things happen. The first thing that came up was Nicole Kidman was born.
Ouch.
Wow. The trial of Lizzie Borden.
Ooh, iconic.
Was that bad, though? Or is that just
That's just iconic.
Just justice?
Just justice. It was the day that she was acquitted of murdering her father and stepmother.
Wow, quick trial.
The death of William, it says IV. I don't know what that stands for in Roman numerals.
William the 4th?
Ivy? Is that the 4th?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because of that, Victoria becomes queen. Queen Victoria. So that's a good thing.
So far, I'm just hearing 2 fun facts.
Well, Japanese forces were defeated in Okinawa. I think that's a good thing, because they were on the bad side in World War II. Let me see. More events. Greenland became self-governing.
So far, all good things.
Prince William was born.
I share a birthday with Prince William.
He's
a Gemini?
Maybe. John Hinckley Jr. was ruled to be innocent by reason of insanity for shooting of President Ronald Reagan.
Here we go. June 20th, right? That's what we're looking at for
Yeah.
Hannah. Yeah. The Detroit race riot breaks out.
Oh,
in
thank you.
1943. There you go. There's a bad thing.
Give me another bad thing, please.
Rare June hurricane strikes Canada's Gulf of St. Lawrence, killing 35.
Oh, okay. All right.
The Watergate scandal.
Okay.
Wait,
all right.
Guys, you just said that 2 more bad things have to happen on your birthdays now.
What do you mean?
I feel like my bad thing that happened on my birthday is worth all of the bad things that happened on your guys' birthday.
But I have some pretty bad things that happened on May 4th, too.
I see National Guard kills 4 students in Kent State shooting in the 1970s.
The Kent State shooting happened on May 4th. The Haymarket Affair, which is when a bomb was thrown at a labor rally and at the police officers, and the police officers then killed 7, or then they started firing on the rally and killed a bunch of people. I got some bad things on May 4th. Ernest Hemingway won the Pulitzer Prize. Get the fuck out of here.
The thing that comes up when I type in what bad things happened on January 6th, storming of the Capitol. It's the first thing. Oh, this is so sad. I don't even have like any of the things that you guys had. National history, please. It's just storming of the Capitol.
May 4th
European history.
May 4th is anti-bullying day. So no bullying allowed today. Have you guys been bullying people today?
Yeah, you.
No.
Hannah said your birthday wasn't shit.
Also, Frankie, your birthday got deleted off my phone calendar.
Wow.
My desktop and my phone calendar.
I'm looking at the January 6th thing. There's a lot of, like there's a plane crash in Russia that killed 45.
Joan of Arc was born.
Oh, there's a plane crash in Lafayette Township.
Theodore Roosevelt died. Okay.
There's a lot of plane crash. Oh, hey, Amanda. On your birthday, Nancy Kerrigan was attacked by the assailant hired by Tonya Harding.
I am actually aware of that one. The 1996 blizzard began that killed 154 people. And the U.S. Capitol riots.
Yeah, see, you got some good things, or bad things that happened. Bad things.
It's not just the riots, but the riots is what everybody's known for. Just like Star Wars Day is what you're known for, and Hannah just has a nice fucking day. That's bullshit. Anyway.
June day.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Can we please talk about Scooby-Doo now?
We're gonna talk about
You're the one who went on this tangent.
Yeah, you did start the tangent.
To be fair, I just asked you what day it was.
That's true.
And I don't give a fuck about Star Wars Day.
So tonight we're continuing our Scooby-Doo journey. We we watched Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders, released on October 3rd of 2000. This is the third of the direct-to-video Scooby-Doo films to be animated by Japanese animation studio Mook Animation. By the way, great job on this film over there. This one was amazing. I forgot how great this movie looks.
Mm-hmm.
This movie's beautiful. This is the final Scooby-Doo movie to use cell animation.
Oh.
So everything else from now on is going to be digital. This is also the last to be released before Hanna-Barbera Production Studios closed in 2001, the last Scooby-Doo movie. And the last Scooby-Doo movie to feature the classic Hanna-Barbera sound effects, which were a trademark of the studio. The famous cartoon sound effects of the Hanna-Barbera library were used, but newer Foley effects were then re-recorded and produced exclusively by Warner Brothers Animation after the studio shut down in 2001.
And I think, if I'm correct in this is the last time we'll hear Mary Kay Bergman's voice as Daphne, because this was released posthumously after her death, correct?
I was going to get to that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the film is dedicated in the memory of Mary Kay Bergman, who is the voice of Daphne, who died in November of 1999. This was the first Scooby-Doo movie to be released simultaneously on VHS and DVD. And the home video had a bonus segment of Courage the Cowardly Dog on it with King Ramses' curse.
That's the best one.
Yeah, they've really fucking stacked this.
That's one of my favorite Courage ones. That and the one where Muriel's, I think, nephew comes in, Fred, and he wants to shave Courage.
Oh.
He has a weird ass smile.
This movie was directed by Jim Stenstrom, who directed all of the previous ones and will direct Cyber Chase.
Mm-hmm.
The screenplay is by Davis Doy and Lance Falk, and the story is by Davis Doy and Glenn Leopold. Glenn Leopold did contribute some stuff to the story, and it was his idea to use the American Southwest as the setting. But he was mostly given the story by credit to make up for the residuals he lost from Witch's Ghost, where he did a lot of the story work, but was not given the credit because the studio wanted to use their own team and give them the credit. This would be the last Scooby-Doo film that Glenn Leopold would write on after he left Warner Brothers due to creative differences. The score was composed by Louis Febre, who would receive an Annie Award nomination for his work on this film. Why was this film made? Because Zombie Island and Witch's Ghost did so well that Warner Brothers at this point now considered Scooby-Doo one of its tentpole products that would sell no matter what. We talked last time about the troubled production with Witch's Ghost, with Warner Brothers insisting that the creative team follow a script written by outside screenwriters that they didn't consider as good. But this movie was largely smoother sailing with a little oversight from executives. So I guess they had more creative freedom again this time around. This time, the theme song is performed by Jennifer Love Hewitt, as we talked about.
We did talk about this last time.
What do we think of Jennifer Love Hewitt's version of the theme song?
Way better than Billy Ray Cyrus's.
That's what I thought as well, Amanda. I was like, it's better than...
It's better than Billy Ray's, but I also am not a huge fan of it.
Oh, I like it. I liked it.
I thought, I was like, you know what, this is pretty middling, but way better than Billy Ray Cyrus.
Yeah, I was like, you know what, compared to what we listened to last time, like, I'm all for it.
We have two other songs in this movie as well. How Groovy, performed by Scott Innes as Shaggy. Shaggy has his own little musical number in the movie.
I remember this so well.
And The Aliens Are Here, performed by the Hippos, which I did not remember, and there's a good reason why. It's not good.
It's not good, but I wanna... My question is, okay, we went from real zombies to real witches. How do you make the jump from witches to aliens? Like, that seems like a pretty spread out thing. Like,
I don't think it's that.
I do. There's not a lot of people that I know that are like digging into witches that are also into fucking aliens.
Did you want real vampires?
Yeah, would it have been better if
it moved to vampires and then somehow slowly you get to aliens. But then, you get from aliens and you get to the Cyber Chase, and that connection makes sense. And the zombie to the witch connection makes sense. It's just from the witch to the alien that doesn't make sense.
I guess maybe they didn't want to do monsters again, like monsters. And I think the whole like from the marketing, this is like an X-Files was popular.
Yeah, this was super easy to market
at the time, so it was super easy to market. Like
it is, and I'm sure we'll get into it when we get to Legend of the Vampire in the 2000s. Like, you had Twilight, you had True Blood. That would have been easy to market too.
I'm pretty sure this is like Legend of the Vampire predates all of that.
Yeah, it did.
It was a little before, but it was still easy to market.
It came out around the same time that Vladimir Todd was out.
True.
Yeah, the Twilight books would have been popular. The vampire literature would have been popular.
Let me double check that theory.
I think I'm right.
Continue on, Frankie. Let me check that theory.
I'm definitely continuing on. In terms of reception of this particular film, David Parkinson of Radio Times gave the film a 3 out of 5, saying the cartoon adventure is the best of a spate of feature-length spin-offs from the much-loved TV series, which I don't think is true. I don't know if David Parkinson hadn't seen the other ones. Maybe he hadn't gotten around to them yet. I like this one, but it's not the best. Carrie Whedon of Common Sense Media also gave it a 3 out of 5. It has an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes with an average rating of 5.5 out of 10. For the cast, Scott Innes is back as it's the same main cast.
Oh, wait, pause. Scooby-Doo Legend of the Vampire came out in 2003. The first Twilight book was released in 2005. Hannah, you're wrong.
Scooby-Doo started the vampire trend of the early 2000s, is what I'm hearing.
Yep, that's what I'm hearing as well.
So, main cast is still the same. Scott Innes is back as Scooby and Shaggy. Mary Kay Bergman is Daphne, for the last time. Like we said. Frank
Rest
Welker.
in peace to a legend.
Yeah. Frank Welker is Fred, and BJ Ward is Velma.
By the way, Frank Welker, man, you killed it this time as Fred. Me and Frankie were talking about this before I think it was after you joined the first time and then you got dropped off. But Fred was like my inner voice. He had so many good one-liners. I actually wrote some of his quotes down.
That's good. I didn't write a lot of quotes down this time because I was trying to do the review, or the recap, so. Jeff Bennett, the voice of Johnny Bravo, is back as Lester. Jennifer Hale is back as Dottie.
That threw me, because as a kid, I never recognized her voice in this film, but I recognized it as an adult.
I know. It
just threw me, because I'm like, that's not Thorne of the Hex Girls.
Mark Hamill is back as Steve, one of the scientists. Candy Milo, who was the voice of Dexter in the later seasons of Dexter's Lab, the voice of Madam Foster, Coco, and Cheese in Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, and the current voice of Granny and Petunia Pig for the Looney Tunes is Crystal and Amber. Neil Ross, who has done so many voicing roles, but I know him best as Moneybags from Spyro Year of the Dragon, is Serge and Buck. Audrey Wasilewski, who is the voice of Arlene in the Garfield franchise, is Laura. And got the most recognizable voice. As soon as I wrote it down, I was like, I can't wait to hear his voice. And you hear it, and you're like, yeah, that's him. Kevin Michael Richardson, the voice of Gantu in the Lilo and Stitch series, is Max and the voice of the aliens. There's one line where the aliens speak later in the film, and I was like, yeah, you can definitely tell it's Gantu.
Yeah.
On IMDb, Alien Invasion has a 6.8 out of 10. We have 2 reviews. I want to start with the positive one, even though we usually end with it, because the negative one, I think, is really funny, based off of what I said.
Oh, great.
Based off what we said about the voice cast, I think it's wild.
Okay.
The 10 out of 10 one was left on March 17th, 2019 by, this might be an unbiased reviewer, or a biased reviewer. Their username is Yabba Dabba Scooby Doo.
Well, they're big Flintstone and Scooby-Doo fans.
Yeah. Work of art. This movie is a work of art. It is a perfect 10 out of 10 film. The overarching story between this film and the extended Scooby-Doo cinematic universe is uncanny.
Oh my god.
The love between Shaggy and that one hippie was beautiful. And she even had a dog. I like that he doesn't write, they don't write the girl's name.
They have names.
Like Crystal's name. They just
Crystal
write
and Amber?
Yeah. I would recommend you watch this film over and over until you really begin to feel the love for it, or your TV breaks. This may have come out in 2000, but even in 2019, it is the best film to come out. And a straight masterpiece at that. I just want to say, they have one other review. Now I'm looking at their pages because I think it's funny. They have one other review on their page. It's a 1-star review of Captain Marvel. And that just says, don't watch it. It's boring and uneventful to the point I don't remember what happens in it. Worst movie ever.
Okay,
So
honestly, I trust him on that.
Their scale is best movie ever, Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders. Worst movie ever, Captain Marvel. By the way, Captain Marvel also has a 6.8 on IMDb. So
Can
it's
I
the
take a
exact
guess?
same.
Can I take a guess at what this bad review is going to be based off of what you just said? They're going to complain about how this voice cast was nowhere near as good as from The Witch's Ghosts or whatever.
Oh my god, you're exactly right. So this is like a pretty recent review. It's from January 24th, 2022.
Oh.
Left by Rebecca By. They have no other ratings or reviews. I checked. Annoying voices. I love Scooby-Doo, but I couldn't watch this. Everyone sounds so strangled. Barely 5 minutes in and I had to stop. Yeesh. Who did the casting? Shaggy and Scooby are trying too hard, and Velma sounds like a 15-year-old.
Okay, I heard up until Velma sounds like a 15-year-old, and then you cut off.
That's the end of the review, so that's why I stopped talking.
Oh, that was it?
That was it. They just really don't like the voice acting.
Oh my god.
The cast is unbearable, even though it's the exact same cast from the last two movies.
Yeah, Jesus.
And also, Frank Welker, who has been voicing the show since it fucking started.
Yeah, way to go. Way to go, dumbass. Alright, Rebecca.
Yeah, Rebecca. I was really, really hoping, beyond hope, that she would have a review of Witch's Ghost or Zombie Island up there.
I know, that would have been really fucking funny.
I was dying to see if she had one. She doesn't, but with that review, with this terrible voice cast, even though they're great and everything else.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
And they are great in this. Let's start the recap. Movie starts. We see space. That's how we get into the movie. And the scientists, we don't know who they are or who they're working for yet, are listening to satellite transmissions, and they get a weird signal. But their shift is over, so they're leaving.
Me too.
I'm with them. But can I just say, they didn't have to make Max look as fine as he did. He does.
Max does look hella fine. Who's that scrawny weakling who's like leading the charge? Max could fucking break him in two.
I know.
That's Steve. That's the guy Mark Hamill
That's
voices.
Mark Hamill.
I know it's Mark Hamill, but man, just because you have Mark Hamill at the helm, at least give the guy some muscle so that, he's making Max look like a pansy, and Max could floss with Steve.
We cut to the Scooby and Shaggy rocking out as Shaggy drives the mystery
waking
machine.
everyone up.
Yeah, turns out they're driving because the rest of the gang are sleeping, and they wake everyone up. But Shaggy's fine with that because he was going to wake them up anyway. He wants to stop for food, even though they ate 2 hours ago.
Yeah, okay,
Fred
it's
quote.
snack time.
Fred quote 1. Such a good one.
All right, hit it.
You said it already.
Oh, they ate 2 hours ago.
Yeah, we just had dinner 2 hours ago.
Before they can get to the next city, though, a dust storm hits. And they end up driving onto federal land, and a weird sound can be heard, and then a UFO starts flying over the mystery machine.
We got right to it this time, didn't we?
Yeah, this one starts quick. Shaggy crashes the mystery machine, they all get out. Velma opens up the hood and sees that the radiator's busted, and Fred sees a town about a mile away. Shaggy is scared to walk across the desert in the middle of the night because there are snakes. And Scooby does a great rattlesnake impersonation.
Fantastic.
It's too good.
Shaggy and Scooby.
Also, though, Shaggy and Scooby are afraid for no reason because it's dark. All those snakes are hiding because it got cold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they're stupid.
Yeah, they don't know science.
Yeah, they don't know stuff.
Shaggy and Scooby volunteer to stay and guard the mystery machine. And Velma calls Scooby very brave.
Fred quote number 2. Shaggy says, like, you want us to walk across the desert at night? Fred, well, I'm not going to carry you.
That one was good.
Continue.
Shaggy and Scooby Shaggy says he knows where Velma's supply of Scooby snacks are, but there's only one Scooby snack left in the box. So they fight over the snack, but they drop it, and it is stolen by a jackalope.
The jackalope, I remember, was way cuter than this.
No, this is the same jackalope that I remember, Hannah.
I don't remember this scruffy-looking jackalope.
Nah, he's adorable.
Right, we have to call him Scruffy.
Yeah.
He's
wow,
doing
Hannah,
his
you're just
best in the
bashing
desert.
everybody today. Frankie, this jackalope that doesn't even exist. Frankie exists, by the way.
They chase the jackalope who goes under a fence. They go over the fence themselves, over and under. But the jackalope goes into a cave, and then there's a glow coming from the cave. 2 aliens appear behind them on hoverboards and chase Shaggy and Scooby, and we get the Jennifer Love Hewitt version of the theme song.
Eat your heart out, Back to the Future. They got actual hoverboards. And they look kind of cool.
They have, like, handles, too. They're safer.
Yeah, way safer.
During the chase, they disguise themselves as the aliens using cactus. And the aliens, like, drive by and go, yeah, that's us. And then they realize, wait a second, it's not us. And they chase them again. They ended up, Shaggy and Scooby ended up crashing through a billboard into the town, and they roll into the local diner where the rest of the gang are at.
They do crash through the teeth of that billboard.
They do.
It's also selling cactus candy.
That doesn't sound good.
Have you
No.
ever had cactus juice?
It's refreshing, but like
It's okay.
it
But
doesn't
I don't
really have
want
flavor.
Aloe would be a better candy, I think.
Do you think it's like aloe and like guava mixed together or something?
No. I think it just is literally just like a lollipop, cactus juice lollipop thing.
I imagine it probably tastes like the grass soda.
Oh God, I hope not.
Shaggy
Anyway.
and Scooby tell everyone that they got chased by aliens,
Mm-hmm.
but the aliens aren't there when Fred goes to look. Shaggy gets distracted by the donuts, and he and Scooby start eating them all. The waitress at the diner says a lot of them have seen aliens and heard strange lights and noises, so people don't go out at night. And then we meet Lester, who informs us that the aliens are here, and they're here to take over the world. And we learn he was experimented on, and that a month ago, all of the cattle started vanishing without a trace.
Also, just want to say, as soon as he said that he was experimented on, I really had like this just like gut feeling. I know it wasn't going to happen, but like I had this urge for him to be like, they put something up my butt.
Lester invites them to sit with him, and he tells his tale.
Mm-hmm.
He was out on Scorpion Ridge and heard a loud humming and saw a bright light, and he woke up strapped to a table in the ship when the alien stuck a bunch of wires on him, and they asked him who he was and what he had seen, but then, and we don't hear what happened, but it seems pretty horrifying to the gang. And then he tells us he woke up the next morning outside of his house. That's probably where he described them putting stuff up his butt. We just didn't get to hear it.
We did not. They cut it out.
Yeah. Daphne is shook by all of this. She was 100% on board that aliens are there and abducting people.
Mm-hmm.
Lester says that he'll take them away, or says that the aliens will take them away, and knocks over Dottie's tray as he says this, and then Shaggy eats the dropped food from the floor, stealing it from Scooby.
Mm-hmm. You gotta be quicker.
Fred asks for proof of the aliens, and Lester says he has pictures.
He's got pictures.
So we go to Lester's house, which is like an alien conspiracy theorist shrine,
Mm-hmm.
and he reveals his pictures are just some really nice paintings.
They're very nice.
He's a really good artist.
Yeah,
This
he's
man
a landscaper.
could make a killing on Etsy.
One of my Fred quote number 3, very sarcastically, Fred asks, "Have you told the media about your experience?"
As he sees all the articles about Lester's
Yeah.
alien abduction.
Fred quote number 2, once he sees the paintings, you said you had pictures.
He does. He painted the pictures.
Yeah, he said, you bet I do lots of pictures. And Daphne goes, oh, paintings.
He's even got another room full of them.
I know.
So, Lester tells the gang that south, searching for alien life forms, satellites were built, and now aliens have started to show up. Fred thinks Lester is nuts, but Velma wants to investigate all of this.
Fred's direct quote, I think Lester's been out painting in the sun too long.
Lester invites the gang to spend the night. He gives the girls their own room. Fred gets the couch, and Scooby and Shaggy get two, lawn chairs on the roof.
It's cold at night in the desert. They're
Yeah.
gonna die.
And one blanket share between the two of them.
Scooby doesn't get a blanket, and it's also really brave of them to stay in this house.
Yeah,
I would agree with that. Yeah, I wouldn't stay with him.
So the aliens are back, and they see Shaggy and Scooby up on the roof. A ship flies above them, and they get abducted and strapped down. Scooby wakes up and tries to wake up Shaggy, but Shaggy's too busy dreaming about being a magazine's food critic.
That's a good job.
For him, especially. He does wake up, though, and he sees the aliens. The aliens say, "Do not fear us," as they start hooking up wires to Shaggy and Scooby, but that just tickles them. They're very ticklish boys. They're told to cooperate, and they will not be harmed, and will be released after physicals and questioning. Shaggy informs the aliens that their health plans do not cover physicals. And
that is a good quote.
That was great.
That is very AmeriCorps.
Scooby uses his tail to deactivate the straps, and they run away. But Shaggy ends up back on the table and strapped down, and the chase continues there. And then a third alien shows up, and he breaks out a taser. But he doesn't have to use it, because Shaggy and Scooby just faint. They wake up the next morning in the middle of the desert to Crystal and her dog, Amber. Or that one hippie chick who has a dog.
Yeah. Man, I shipped Shaggy and Crystal so hard as a kid.
Shaggy ships him and Crystal so hard. He falls in love with her immediately.
Yeah. Heart eyes almost out the gate.
If you look up simp in the dictionary, it's just Shaggy.
And you know what? Fair. Crystal's a very attractive animated lady.
And Scooby also falls in love with Amber right away.
Mm-hmm.
Amber, not impressed at all by Scooby.
Amber is Hannah. Anytime a guy attempts to flirt with Hannah, Amber is Hannah.
What can I say? I have standards.
Just unimpressed by anything.
But you better be getting on your knees and start begging.
You'd still be unimpressed.
Crystal says she's a wildlife photographer, and she can understand Scooby talking.
Groovy.
Perfectly. Yeah, she says groovy a lot. She's a hippie. She wants to be shown where Shaggy and Scooby found the jackalope and the aliens. Shaggy and Scooby talk about how they have found their dream girls to each other. They get into Crystal's Jeep, and Amber still not impressed by Scooby. Scooby pulls out the old yawn and stretch move. And Amber immediately removes that arm. Just get it off of me, please.
I thought I heard a crack, too. Like, did she crack his ribs?
I think she, broke his arm at one point, yeah. Shaggy eats one of Amber's dog biscuits, and Crystal laughs. Just laughs. It's not like a mean laugh.
Yeah.
The rest of the gang thinks Shaggy and Scooby are at the diner. And when they walk in, Dottie immediately starts flirting with Fred and asks Fred if he dreamed about her. And Fred stutters, and then Serge's response is, "If you were in that dream, it would be a nightmare." Scooby and Shaggy come in, both hopelessly in love with Crystal and Amber, respectively, and neither of them order food.
Shocking.
Everyone is shocked.
Yeah. I would assume the world is ending.
Shaggy begins to have his daydream, and this is where he sings How Groovy.
And let me just say, I remember more of this song than I thought I did. I could probably recite this entire song for you guys right now. That's how much I loved this song as a kid.
He talks about how much he loves Crystal to the point he would help her with shopping.
Alright, that's a little.
We get a clip of the gang in their classic clothes hunting ghosts, and he would leave
by 6
to go home on time.
Yeah, by 6.
Be with Crystal, yeah. They have a tie-dye wedding, and their house is filled with all things from 1969, and they end up having a baby and puppies. Scooby
Shaggy
and Amber
Jr.
have puppies, and they have Shaggy Jr. Before we get it further in the movie, is this I think it is. I just want confirmation from you guys. Is this the first love song we've heard on Scooby-Doo that is not about a human woman being in love with Scooby for some reason.
Yes, I
Yeah.
would like to believe so. Yes,
Thank God.
and I liked this one.
Yeah, isn't it weird how the good one is the one that's not about a woman being in love with a dog?
It's not about bestiality. Yeah.
Scooby and Shaggy end up kissing each other after, like, as they're both, I guess, daydreaming about Crystal and Amber. They end up kissing each other,
Mm-hmm.
and then they remember that they were abducted by aliens last night. As they remember this, Dottie comes in with the plates of breakfast that the rest of them ordered and says, "It tastes better than it looks," and just walks away.
Bitch, it looks good. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
it looks fine.
It looked good. If I went to a diner and they served me food that looked like that, I'd be happy.
Oh, I have a very scared truffles. It's thundering.
Oh, I hear it too, yeah.
Oh, poor baby girl.
So, Lester thinks Crystal and Amber are a result of alien mind control.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They leave the diner so they can
It's not. It's just LOVE, as Velma says.
And Serge questions why the kids are sticking around town and eyes them suspiciously.
Their van broke down. They told you, my guy. Go out and look at their van in the middle of the
Go
fucking
fix it,
place.
Serge, if you're so worried about it. Damn.
He's so worried about this little extra cash he's making.
Yeah, how dare these people come and buy my food?
Fucking Republican.
So,
Sorry.
and so Scooby and Shaggy have freshened up in the bathroom.
I hated this.
They've slicked their hair.
The slicked hair I can live with. It's the shirt being tucked in.
Shaggy has his shirt tucked in. He looks like a fucking triangle.
I've never seen his butt before, and I don't want to.
It's weird. I hated it.
He found the perfect hippie girl. Why did he make himself into a 1950s prep?
Yeah, why did he go away from the hippie look?
Also, I'm really concerned because he's like, we put on some cologne in the bathroom.
Yeah, Fred goes, what's that smell? That's just some cologne we found in the restroom.
Yeah, my next
what
note
was
is
it?
they also
I'm so concerned.
My next note is they also put on bathroom cologne.
Yeah. Oh.
So the gang go to a garage to see if the van can be fixed, and the owner, Buck, says he saw the van and the radiator is shot. He asks why they were out there. Before they answer, he says he'll tow the van in and work on it when he can. The SALF van pulls up with Max, who heard the original weird signal at the beginning of the movie, and he asks the gang about the van. Velma asks for a tour of South, and Max says he's happy to show them around. He just has to get some oil and ask for some help. So they help him get the oil, and Shaggy gets some on his shirt right before Crystal shows up.
Fred quote. Next Fred quote. As soon as Shaggy says, I got this oil on my shirt, and Scooby gives him a rag, Fred goes, oh, brother. Like, he's like, I can't deal with this.
Crystal pulls up in the Jeep. Shaggy and Scooby go with her so they can show her where the jackalope was. The rest of the gang join Max in the South van, and Buck watches them suspiciously. So Shaggy and Scooby end up in a part of the desert with a bunch of flowers, and Scooby gives Amber some flowers, and that gets him a kiss. Amber is impressed by the flowers. Shaggy tries to do the same thing, but his flowers have a giant spider that crawls into his shirt. He ends up flailing about. He gives Crystal a single flower, and he goes in for a kiss, but she just walks away.
Yeah. Don't expect a kiss immediately after you give a girl a flower. First mistake, my guy. Well, there's a lot of mistakes that you've made. Actually, Shaggy.
He doesn't know how to talk to girls, because remember, in this universe, Googie is not canon. This is a separate timeline.
Right.
Shaggy's never had a girlfriend.
Uh-huh.
So they go to the fence where Shaggy and Scooby chased the jackalope the night before and were chased by the aliens. And Crystal and Amber immediately go past the fence, and Shaggy and Scooby don't want to, but Crystal and Amber just go, please, and they join them immediately.
Yeah, puppy dog eyes.
Simping immediately.
Immediate.
So back at the South, we hear that what their job is to collect all the static from space, and Steve says it's the world's largest collection of static. Velma notices that Max, Steve, and Laura, the three scientists, all have dirt on their shoes and dried mud. And the scientist asks where Shaggy and Scooby are. We cut to them. Crystal's
On a date.
On a date. Crystal's taking some pictures and thanks Shaggy for bringing her there. And Shaggy turns away to build up the courage to ask her out, but she walks away, unbeknownst to him, to take another picture. And Shaggy asks if she has a boyfriend, as a military police officer walks behind Shaggy and says that he does not, in fact, have a boyfriend.
I want someone to upload this film and have a dub over it, just so the military man says, actually, I do.
Yeah, that'd be so
Everything
funny.
was exactly the same, save for that line.
To be fair, I thought that was the line. I was like, oh, the military man's gonna say he does have a boyfriend. But
I was like, wow, very progressive.
Shaggy realizes that it is no longer Crystal, but two military police officers behind him. He gets scared, jumps into Crystal's arms, and then the MP grabs Crystal's camera, and it opens it up, and it is clearly alien technology.
Yeah, first sign.
She says, it's a digital camera.
Well, actually, second sign, because if you looked at the back of her car whenever Shaggy was like, you got a lot of stuff back there, she's like, yeah, that's my stuff for my camera. Those are not tripods, my guy, girl.
Those look like guns.
Yeah.
Like alien guns, alien death rays. The military police tell the Shaggy, Scooby, Crystal, and Amber that they aren't allowed to be there because it's under investigation, the area, for alien abductions. And they should be getting arrested, but they're just going to have to leave.
That's your first sign that's not actual cops.
Crystal yells Neanderthals at them. Yeah, especially military police. Military police will arrest you immediately.
Immediately, yeah.
Crystal yells Neanderthals at them as they leave, and then she confesses to Shaggy that she's not a nature photographer at all. She's a government agent here to investigate alien sightings, and that Amber is a government-trained canine. They hope it doesn't change anything between them. And Crystal hugs Shaggy, and Scooby gets another kiss.
Scooby's just getting all the action now.
I know. Lester picks up the gang from South, and they ask him for a ride to Scorpion Ridge. And the back of Lester's truck has a little house on it for some reason.
I thought it was a chicken coop.
I actually
thought so at first too, but like when Fred
I was afraid it was a porta potty.
When Fred gets in it, it is connected to the window in the back of the truck, so he can open the window and talk to everyone.
Yeah, I've never seen a thing like that before.
There's like a little house on this pickup.
Well, I guess because he paints landscapes, like if things get too bad and like dust storms, he can just hide in there.
Well, maybe, or he's out there too late because he has a lot of night scenes. While they're riding towards Scorpion Ridge, Velma points out that the motor oil they picked up with Max is not for the hydraulics on the satellite. So what could it be for?
I'm amazed she knows this.
Yeah,
Fred should have known that.
Yeah, Fred should have known it.
Fred
actually
looks
picked
shocked.
one up.
As they're heading to Scorpion Ridge, the scientists notice that's where they're going, and Steve tells Max to call it in. Shaggy and Scooby, we're back with them. They're helping Amber and Crystal look for clues. Scooby gets scared by an armadillo. Shaggy takes everyone to the cave where the jackalope went in, and then they saw the glow.
Oh, wait. I forgot to mention, while Fred is riding in the back of that little house thing, Lester does ask him how he's doing, and Fred very sarcastically says, just great, couldn't be better, as he has a can of paint thrown on his head.
We hear the MPs saying, one of them saying that they thought they heard something, and seemingly they're heading towards Shaggy and Scooby, and Amber and Crystal. We see Buck out by Scorpion Ridge, grumpy as usual, but he tells Velma, Fred, and Daphne that he will fix the van this afternoon. And
Fred says, I think he was much nicer this time.
Lester thinks that Buck is crazy. Buck is the crazy one here.
Yeah,
we go back to the military police, and they hear some rustling, so they pull out their guns and go into the cave, but they find a rattlesnake and run away. But psych! Just a big prank. It's Scooby and Shaggy doing a rattlesnake impression.
Just a prank, bro.
Yeah. Crystal is super impressed by this.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good impression.
And it looks like Shaggy is gonna get a kiss. But then a real snake shows up and scares him and Scooby away, and Crystal and Amber chase after them, deeper into the cave. Lester drops off the rest of the gang, warns them about the military police, and Fred says he noticed the green paint on Lester's hands. And the aliens are green.
And Daphne was just like, he's a painter.
Yeah, he is.
Dumbass.
Also, the aliens look like broccoli.
They do. This is why kids don't like broccoli.
Mm-hmm.
Velma thinks that the South scientists were near water because of the mud, which has to be at the gorge. We're back in the cave with Shaggy and Scooby. They find the glow that they saw the night before, and they go towards it. We cut back to the rest of the gang who have climbed down to the bottom of the gorge with no climbing equipment.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no water. But Daphne sees tire tracks, and when they follow them, they find a pile of pet rocks. They follow the tire tracks into a tunnel drilled into the side of the ravine and find a mine and an empty can of oil, the same can that Max got from Buck. There's an excavator and a jackhammer and a shiny substance that is gold. It's gold, because that's all the giant glow that Shaggy and Scooby and Crystal and Amber found. Crystal, though, informs them that the gold was already found by someone, as there is mining equipment. And then they get chased by the aliens again, and we get the Hippos song.
It's just so boring. You can barely even hear it.
I did put a note, these songs are not as good as any of the songs in Zombie Island.
Yeah.
So, the third alien finds the rest of the gang and starts chasing them. Then the military police find them all and start chasing everybody in the excavators. We get the classic door bit, but this time it's with a series of tunnels. The aliens capture Velma, Daphne, and Fred in a net, which is a classic alien move, you know? They're always pulling up nets. The military police corner Shaggy, Scooby, Crystal, and Amber, but they fall down the cliff that they're on, and the MPs follow the orders of the aliens to hunt them down.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the part where the aliens are talking with Velma, Fred, and Daphne, that you can definitely tell that voice actor voice is gone too.
Yeah.
I was looking away for a minute, and I was like, did I put Lilo and Stitch on? What the fuck happened here?
It would have been a better movie.
I think Lilo and Stitch is a better movie than that.
It is a better movie, but for as much as Gantu is in that, film, he's in it way more in the series.
Yeah, he's great in the series. In the series, he's fantastic.
Yeah.
Velma, though, tells Steve to give up the charade, and we are revealed it's the scientists that are the aliens. Velma is so angry in the name of science.
Here's the thing that throws me off about their whole plan, and I know you'll get into it, but how could these guys be pretending to be military police and, the actual military police not know what the fuck's going on? Because there's going to be one person who's outraged.
In this kind of town. Yeah, I'm surprised Lester hasn't contacted the military to, rage at them.
Yeah. And then they'd be like, what are you talking about? We don't have anybody out there.
So, this is the plan. We get the whole plan here. Max says he was looking for a place to find, or to put the fourth dish up when he found an opening to a cave. And when they went back to explore, they found all the gold that no one else knew about. This was an abandoned mine, and the miners left when they thought they got all the gold because they just didn't dig 10 more feet. Since all of the property was owned by the government, where the mine was, the South scientists hired two of their friends to pretend to be military police and fence off the area while they would guard the cave. One of them would guard the caves, and the other would mine for the gold. We get a pause here, because then we cut to Shaggy, Scooby, Crystal, and Amber, who are recovering from their fall, and they're at a very deep part of the mines, which is full of pits with stone spikes that will skewer them. We come back to the scientists and the rest of the gang, and the scientists explain the alien costumes were used to keep away the townspeople and have an explanation for the lights and sounds of mining. They even bought a helicopter with the money from the gold and dressed it up to look like a UFO and built a set to abduct people in and convince everyone that aliens were there. They even started stealing the cattle and would sell the cattle to earn extra money.
I have so many issues.
Yeah?
Most notably, they had enough money from the gold to buy a military grade helicopter and a Hollywood soundstage to trick people. If
Not
you
just
have
buy
that kind of money,
But they built it themselves, too.
Not just buy a Hollywood soundstage, build one underground.
With all that money, you could have retired.
Yeah, they could have, but they wanted all of the money.
Dumbasses.
And also, with the cattle being stolen, I'm going to assume all that cattle was branded, so the minute it goes up to be sold somewhere, the person trying to buy it's gonna look at the cattle, notice the brand, and be like, "This is stolen cattle, you fuck."
No, none of them branded their cattle.
Apparently.
The scientists are now going to drop Velma, Daphne, and Fred down a hole, killing them.
He says nothing personal, you just know too much, and Fred responds, yeah, that's always our problem.
We cut back to Shaggy, Scooby, Crystal, and Amber. The fake MPs have cornered them and are about to shove them down into the pits when Shaggy and Scooby stand in front of Crystal and Amber to protect them.
Oh.
They start doing some karate chops and kicks, and the fake MPs just laugh. And then Crystal and Amber touch the peace sign necklaces that they have and reveal their true alien forms. They're aliens. They're real aliens.
Just like all hippies.
Yeah. Behind Shaggy and Scooby, and they scare the fake MPs away. They transform back before Shaggy and Scooby realize what happened, and they tell Shaggy and Scooby that they frightened off the fake MPs. Shaggy and Scooby then hear Velma and Daphne scream, and they run to help them. And
Can
this
we
is
talk
where
about the
we
reveal
get the line,
real quick?
Amanda.
Before we get into it, can we talk about the reveal? Because it's good. The first time you watch this film, it's a good reveal. Yeah.
I will be honest, when I was a kid, I was watching, a lot of Power Rangers. I thought they were going to turn into Power Rangers. I thought we were getting a crossover.
Anyway, you were saying something to me, Franklin?
Oh, this is where they have the line about,
oh, yes,
you know too much. Yeah, that's always our problem.
Uh-huh.
That's the one Fred line I did write down.
He says it so dejectedly, too. He's just like, why do I keep doing this to myself?
I will say also about the reveal, though, Hannah, I like that they're aliens, but you can obviously see that, if we're, I don't want to say because they're aliens, but, if we're going by, human and animal, that Crystal is still obviously, the quote-unquote human of whatever planet they're from, and Amber is kind of like a pet.
Yeah, there's still more animal qualities in Amber's design.
Amber's also a fucking monster house. A powerhouse.
We get to Amber's, beating everyone up later. The fake MPs run in screaming about aliens. The scientists are like, we're the aliens.
Dumbasses.
And then the fake MPs point at Crystal and Amber and say, no, there they are. And then they're like, well, they're not now. Maybe we just were seeing things. So they go after Shaggy, Scooby, Crystal, and Amber again. And Shaggy and Scooby, who have been told, they chase them off. I'm like, well, we're gonna fucking do it again. Let's go, guys.
Don't worry, babe. I got this.
And Fred, as this is happening, Fred escapes from the net and pulls it over solid ground to help Velma and Daphne out. Shaggy and Scooby, meanwhile, they do another karate thing and immediately get grabbed by the MPs. And Amber and Crystal have to transform again. They scare off the fake MPs, the scientists, the gang. Everyone sees it. And then Steve is like, hey, wait a second. If we capture the aliens, it'll be worth way more than all of the gold we can get from here.
Are you kidding me? If you capture the aliens, the government isn't going to give you money.
They're going to take it and arrest you for a made-up crime.
Yeah.
You're going to disappear for a while.
Yeah. There's no fucking way that you're getting money from that alien.
So Amber goes towards Max and the MPs, the fake MPs, and wraps them up in a steel beam.
A beast.
And then Steve and Laura drive at Amber and Crystal in the excavator to capture them. And Crystal trips over a jackhammer. Amber is holding off the excavator as much as she can, but it's a struggle and it's about to collapse. Shaggy and Scooby are told by Velma and Daphne that the aliens are Crystal and Amber, and they're gonna go save them. So Scooby gets on the a different excavator with a metal pole like a jouster, and Shaggy drives it, and they take out Steve's excavator, saving the girls.
Listen, if your man is not going to joust on an excavator for you, he's not worth it.
Those are the standards that Hannah has, alright?
Yeah. Yes.
Start jousting on excavators to protect her, alright? From evil scientists. Scooby crashes into the water tank, spilling water on the fake MPs and Max, and they fall down. Shaggy loses control of the excavator, destroys all of the alien equipment, knocks over the gas barrels, and spills it all over Laura, who tries to run away with Steve, but then Fred drops the net on them. Crystal and Amber transform back into their Earth forms. It turns out they are government agents, but from another world. And then Amber just fucking talks. Just perfect English.
Yeah. And Shaggy says, dig that, scuba talking dog. And Fred goes, imagine that.
That's such a good line.
That's the best line in the whole film.
It's so fucking stupid. It's so funny.
The humor in this film is a lot better than I remember it being.
It is. Crystal says that her alien species or planet honed in on the TV signals from Earth, but they were TV signals from the 60s. So that's why they're dressed like hippies. They thought everyone on Earth dressed like that.
Mm-hmm.
Crystal and Amber's spaceship arrives to take them home, and it's the spaceship that we saw at the beginning of the movie that flew over. We see it in a little bit, like fully. It's the one that flew over the Mystery Machine.
It looks like a stingray.
A little bit.
They ask for Shaggy and Scooby to forgive them for the deception, and Shaggy does, and Crystal talks about how she also she hopes they can still be friends, and she also wants to find somebody, but long distance relationships never work. And Fred starts bawling.
I know. I feel
Fred. Me too.
Amber gives Scooby a little kiss, and Crystal gives Shaggy a kiss, and they're beamed up to their ship, and that ship fucking blasts away. That ship
they're
is
gone.
Out of there.
Mm-hmm.
The cops arrive.
They left before Shaggy and Scooby could decide to go with them.
I know. They didn't give them a choice. Shaggy and the cops arrive and arrest the South scientists. And Steve almost says the line. But he gets cut off by the cops.
Good. You don't deserve it.
Lester is upset by the lack of aliens, of real aliens. But then the scientists are like, or Max says, there are aliens. And Lester goes, oh, yeah, there are. Definitely. See, they believe me. I have pictures. And he takes two of the government agents to go see his pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And the South scientists are also excited by this, because they're like, if this guy's got pictures, we can get a book deal out of this.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to jail. I guess you'll have money for the commissary.
Don't ask questions.
Buck shows up with the repaired Mystery Machine and says, when they saw him in the desert and he was being suspicious, he was just there for his hobby. He collects pressed flowers. And it's
So
a
cute.
secret because he doesn't want to be seen as soft because soft people get walked all over.
So cute.
And then we go to Scooby and Shaggy just staring at the sky, and they look super sad. And when Fred asks how they are, Shaggy goes, "We are completely destroyed." Yikes. Brutal.
Why are you laughing at this man's pain, Amanda?
Because he gets over it so fucking fast.
Yeah, Velma then says you got that Scooby and Shaggy, when they were guarding the machine, missed a box of Scooby snacks. And they're fine immediately, fight over the box as the mystery machine drives off. And we see the jackalope. And then the credits roll, and we get yet another post-credit scene in the Scooby-Doo cinematic universe. One of the aliens shows up and tries to scare everybody, but it's just another epic Scooby-Doo prank. It's Scooby-Doo as the alien.
Not as good as the Zombie Island post-credits.
Not as good, but still good.
Mm-hmm.
Still showing that Scooby-Doo came up with, not only started the vampire craze, but started the post-credits craze. Scooby-Doo is very innovative, as we're learning on this journey. But that's it. That's Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost. Or, fuck.
We watched The Witch's Ghost again?
We did. That's Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders. Where does it rank for you guys in terms of movies?
I would put it above The Witch's Ghost.
I'm gonna be controversial. I think it's going in at number 4.
At number 4?
No.
I think Ghoul School is better still.
Alright,
no.
I'm going to, I guess, I mean, none of us agree, because I would put it at number 3, below Witch's Ghost.
No.
I would split the difference.
I think I will agree with Frankie. I will concede my 4th pick.
Alright. So
because I don't think this is better than Witch's Ghost.
Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders is our number 3 Scooby-Doo movie out of 8. It's number 3. Next month, join us for the movie that Amanda has been fucking waiting for.
I'm so ready.
Next time, we're going to 2001, and we're talking about Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase. Amanda will be leading that episode for us.
Damn right I will be.
She's very excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's next month. Next week, Hannah, you are in charge.
I am in charge. Yeah.
Barbie Rapunzel, please.
Amanda, you're fucking correct.
Yes.
Oh no! Oh, I gotta watch 2. Oh my Jesus! Barbie Rapunzel.
Don't dare.
And I would like us to get together at Amanda's house on Saturday to watch it.
I have a caveat. If we're getting together, we're also watching The Idol Star. I've been waiting for frickin' ever.
Okay.
There's an issue with that.
Oh no.
Girl,
I'm going to the Pirates game on Saturday. That was
Friday
my
night?
birthday present for me.
Friday night?
I can do Friday.
Friday night?
I can't do Friday.
We can't watch it together.
We will watch the next Barbie film together.
Wait, what? How long is the Pirates game?
The Pirates game starts at 4:05, I think, or 4:35. I don't know. It depends on how long it goes. But I'm going with my dad, and we're taking the same car. Oh, no, it's at 6:40. Never mind. Oh, no, that's Friday's game, not Saturday's game. Saturday's game's at 4:05, but I'm going with my dad to, like...
Well, you enjoy your game, and
I will.
You can suffer watching Barbie alone.
I do want to point out, I started my research for Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase already, because I knew it was the next one. I want to say that when I was looking through the description on Wikipedia for all of the movies, just to see like how they're described, all of them are kind of like animated comedy mystery. Obviously, Cyber Chase has science fiction attached to it because of the main villain. And Alien Invaders also has science fiction, but also has romantic comedy mystery film. This is the first one, and I don't know if the others will, but this is the first one that is a romantic comedy as well for Alien Invaders.
That is adorable.
I do like that it's a romantic comedy. Is that the best couple we're ever gonna get in Scooby-Doo?
What?
Well, no, that's not true.
No.
We'll get better couples when they let Velma be a lesbian.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
The purists will argue Daphne and Fred.
The purists are wrong and can suck it. All right, I think this is the end of the episode, unless anyone else has anything else they'd like to talk about. Any other thoughts to be heard? Amanda, Hannah?
I have none.
Watch Barbie as Rapunzel before next week's episode.
Yeah, watch the Barbie Rapunzel movie. And let's wrap this up. As of recording, we are on YouTube and Spotify. If you're listening to us on YouTube, remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for notification when each new episode is uploaded. If you are listening to us on Spotify, remember to follow the show, leave a rating and a review. And no matter where you're listening to us, remember to the Spotify question. What should the Spotify question be?
I don't know.
Fuck. I didn't think
Who is the better couple? Daphne and Fred or Shaggy and Crystal?
No, that's an easy one. That's Shaggy and Crystal.
Yeah, no, that's a dumb question.
No, that's a good one. That's what it is, but I'll go with that. But that's an easy one. That should be 100%, everybody. I want 100% on that. 100%. All right. If you're, no matter where you're listening to us, remember to share the show with people who you would think might be interested in what we're talking about. All the wide variety of stuff. Weird history stuff. Cryptids. Weird ghosts and demon stories. All of the Disney movies in review. In order. Join us on that. All of the Barbie animated movies now.
Mm-hmm.
Join us on that. Wrestling. And of course, Scooby-Doo. So if anyone's interested in any of those topics or all of those topics, bring them to us.
Yeah, we'll take care of them.
Send us an email asking us some fan questions that you'd like us to answer, giving us any ideas for topics, any comments you want to leave about the show, you can do so by sending us an email to
Nothing to See Here podcast at gmail.com. As always, here is spelled Hear.
If you would like to see some great artwork done by Amanda, some funny memes created by Hannah, and images of things that we discuss in each week's episode, you can see all of that and more over on our Instagram page, which is
Nothing to See Here pod.
I think that's everything. We've all wrapped up for the night. So saying goodbye and good night, it's Frankie.
It's Hannah.
I got nothing. Go stan Fred Jones, everybody.
Right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.